Okay, so again, we're talking about time series forecasts, right? Where and this is a very standard construct where you're going to be given a series of data. Typically, could be demand. You're trying to forecast some sort of phenomena, oftentimes demand, for operations. And you'll be given a certain number of periods, and then you're trying to come up with the forecast for the next period. That's the bottom line of all these processes here, is you're looking at the past to try and come up with what does the future look like. And again, none of us have a crystal ball, but these are all quantitative methods using time series to come up with what the future looks like. And again, so I just made up this is just a sample of historical data right here. See, it's kind of, it starts off kind of level, but then it trends way up and then it shoots way down. Again, there's all sorts of phenomena you could be measuring. Some are very nice and stable, but some move all over the place. And so that's why, just having different forecasting methods. And the goal is always, you're not going to get it completely correct, but you want to get it as close to enable the planning procedures, the master scheduling, the MRP planning that then comes after it. Okay, so the simplest forecast is a naive forecast. All right, and what it really is, it's a one period moving average. And it basically it's like going outside to forecast what the weather is. So if you were a weather forecaster and you just walked outside and said, well, it's sunny right now, so my forecast is sunny. I know that sounds very simple, and that word naive means simple, but it can be actually a very effective tool, again, just to get you in the ballpark, just to get a basic idea of what's going to happen. So my first question here, and I hope everyone can see that right there, I got period 1, demand 40, period 2, demand 45, period 3, demand 40, and so forth. All right? So there's no forecast for period 1, right? Because period 1 would be the first period you're in. What would be the forecast for period 2 using a naive forecast? Just chat it out. 40, absolutely. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And one thing for all these problems, always think of yourself as, I'm in period 1, I'm looking at the demand in period 1, that's 40, and I'm making a forecast for period 2. That's exactly right. So a naive forecast would be 40, okay? So going all the way to the end goal, remember I said the goal was to, what's the forecast for period 13? So using a naive forecast, what's the forecast for period 13? 25, that's correct. That's exactly right. And so notice that it's naive in the sense that once you get to period 12, it doesn't matter at all what happened from period 1 through 11. Okay, anything could have happened. All you care about is, well, in period 12, the forecast is 25. So in period 13, that's my forecast. Again, very simple, but powerful forecasting method. And again, doesn't require a lot of calculation, doesn't require a lot of computation. It literally is, hey, what's going on right now? That's my forecast for next period. I have seen a problem like this could be on the exam. They'll say, what is the naive forecast? Okay, so that's the first one I want to cover. Kind of a one period moving average. Okay, so now, most moving averages, though, we want to capture more of the signal, right? So the disadvantage of a naive forecast is all you're looking at is the current period. You're completely disregarding what's gone on before that. So it's a very forgetful forecast. It doesn't have a lot of memory. With the moving average, we're trying to expand this window to include more of what's happened. All right, and the size of our window then will influence, obviously, what our forecast is. Now, one thing notice here, so I've picked 3 and 5 month moving average. Again, those are just kind of arbitrary. Could be 6 months moving average. A lot of places use a year moving average. Again, the time periods are arbitrary. In general, I tend to use months, and that's just kind of how I think. But again, on the exam, the time periods could be arbitrary. And as always, make sure you're talking the right time periods. They sometimes will change them up on you.